Hey guys, and welcome to another guitar plug-in video. Today we're just having a quick look at a free IR pack. And this one comes from Seacow Cabs. So the IR pack we're looking at today is just the AC30 one. Now they have a few other IR packs, lots and lots of different cabs, including a British Invasion pack and a studio collection. And I will look at them at some other point, and what I think I'll do with them, because there's so many cabs, I'm going to set up presets and I'll record some riffs and stuff and we can quickly go between them. For this demo, I'm just going to play guitar live and click through some of the different cabs. We might record a loop or something just so you can hear it, but for the most part, we're just going to kind of do a more of a play and listen kind of thing, less of a structured kind of song mix deal. So, what is an IR? If you don't know what an IR is, an impulse response. So basically you capture sound going through a speaker cabinet, and then with software, Convolver software as it's known, you can then impart the sound of that speaker cabinet onto your guitar signal. So there's various IRs. You pay money for them. There's some that are free. So the Seacow Cabs ones are free. I've got some Ownhammer cabs as well that I've paid for. There's Celestion have IRs. I'll probably put some links just explaining what IRs are in the description. So yeah, this is just an AC30 Blue speaker free IR pack. So I'm using NAD IR. I use that for my IRs. It's free. It's got a few cool features. It allows you to have 2 IRs. So for that opening thing, these are what we had. So what I'm using is THU Slate. I'll just open and show you. I'm using the Top 30, which is an AC30. And I've just bypassed the Slate cab. So I will actually compare it to the cab that's in here, which is an Ownhammer 1993 Ownhammer Blu in a Fawn AC30 cab. So we can compare those two later on. But to start with, we're just going to go through the sounds. So I'd basically use my favorite mic combination for that opening section, which is a Royer R121 and a Shure SM57. Now there's various different mics and they come in 2 formats. One is the raw IRs and the other one is EQ'd. So he has EQ'd them so that you can put them in your mix. Now I prefer working with raw files because then I can EQ them depending on the mix. And as we're not working in a mix here, I'd rather the raw sound so you can kind of hear what it's just like on its own, as if you were playing guitar in the room with me. So I'm just going to pull up the README, just because it's got a little bit of information that is very useful. And this is how the IRs are laid out. There is 3 different categories for each speaker, which is A, B, and C. And there how far away they are from the speaker cab, from what I can tell. And these are all numbered, and the higher the number, the further away from the center of the cone. So when you're miking a guitar cab, the center of the cone is the brightest spot, and as you get further and further away from the dust cap to the edge of the cone, that is the darkest. So there's 1 to 10, and there's also these 3 different types. So you can kind of get a wealth of different sounds, bright and stuff. So like I said, what I've got here is my favorite 2 mics, which is a Royer R121 and a Shure SM57. And I've kind of set up how I normally would. You have a slightly brighter tone for the 121 because it's a darker mic, and the 57 you pull off a little bit. And I've just gone to the 121 side just to get a little bit of a fatter tone. So I'm just going to play that again. Straight up Vox kind of tone. Now I've got on the floor my Boss Hyper Fuzz, pretty insane in your face fuzz, but let's just see what that sounds like with it. pretty bad play anyway. So that is the kind of preset I've made, and I really like it. But I'll just go through and show you how the kind of differs. So we'll go to the 57 side. So I'll just throw the balance over here. Now it says right and left. I've got this in mono mode, which means it isn't really right and left. It just means the right impulse and the left impulse. If you go to stereo, right and left that'll be on the left side of the speaker, and that'll be on the right. That'll be on the left, that'll be on the right. So we'll go with the brightest closest to the cone, and I won't go through every single one because that would sound ridiculous. But because we want to move on and go through some other mics and play some other amps, but I'll just kind of show you what the kind of main differences. So this would be the brightest tone, A0. And as you move further away, say, let's go A3. Maybe say A7. And now we can move to the Bs. Now, the Bs, like it said in the README, are a bit further off. So if we go to B0, it'll still probably be bright, but it'll sound a little bit different. So we'll go between the two. Back to A0. Here A0 is a bit more up front, and let's go to C0 just to see even further back. And so subtle differences, but there is difference there. And we'll just move into some of the darker Bs, just a bit of reference, but you kind of get the idea of what you can do with this. Go in the middle. And let's go to some of the darker ones down about C8. And these differences are even more pronounced when you're not working clean, when you've got some distortion going, which we'll move into. We'll get some distortion up in a minute, but I just want to go through some of the cleaner tones and talk about some of the IRs. So, like I said, that is a 57. Now, my favorite thing is to blend mics. Now, you can use the same mic and use two different positions, a darker one and a brighter one, and you kind of get the best of both worlds, or you can use a different mic with a different character. Now, if we compare it to the R121, there are a few more mics, which I'll show you in a second. If we compare it to the R121, let's go, say, pretty obvious one, A3. It's pretty going to be... Actually, let's go B3. Kind of middle of the road. Has a bit more of that kind of air around it. More like a realistic rather than upfront tone. So we'll go B3. And I'll load B3 on both sides. And I'll fade across. And you'll really hear the difference in the mics. Another 1-2-1. Back to the 57. 1-2-1. And the happy medium in the middle. So like I said, there is many more mics. So I'm just going to open up the files and kind of show you how it is. So you've got cabinet like here, you've got VOX AC30 Blue IR Eco. So you got the raw IRs and the EQ IRs. I'm using the raw IRs, like I said, because I want that sound without the EQ. But all of these have EQ applied to make them more mix friendly. And then you've got all these mics. So you've got these two 80Ks, an AEA, a Coles, a Rode NT G2, 121, an SM7B, an SM57, the Friedman technique, which is 45-degree off axis, so you can mix that with a 57 and you've got the Friedman technique. Then you've got back mics and room mics, and we'll go into these in a little bit. We'll kind of get some room sounds as well. But before we do that, while we're still talking about the close mics, I just want to compare it to THU. So I have the Ownhammer AC30 Pack. Now, I don't have this exact speaker because this is the 93 one. The one I've got is the newer one. So you see here it says VC30 Blue 93. That means it's a 93 Alnico Blue. OH1F. Now, OH1F is one of their mix files, and their mix files are different mic combinations. Now, OH1F from memory is a 57 and a 121. And F means fat, so it's mixed with a bit more of the 121 to get fatter, and 7 is a bit darker. So I'm going to kind of roll up something similar. So we'll go, I think we'll go A3, maybe A2, and we'll go A6. See what that's like. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to record a little bit like that, a little bit of that kind of jangly clean. Now, I apologize. So far, we've done pretty boring chords. I just kind of want to show that big jangly AC30 thing so you can hear that. We're going to go into a few different tones in a minute. So I'm just going to first do a couple of bars of that. We'll compare the two, and then I'm going to do a couple of fuzzy things, and we'll compare the two. So I'm just going to record something here. Just going to loop that, just so we can jump back between the two of them. Okay. Okay, so this is using the Seacow Cabs. Let's go to the Slate one. Little less bright, a little more close in, so you could probably get something from that from here. So they're different, but they're not so different. There's a little bit more of a mid character like in the Ownhammer and this, but this is free. Now, obviously, if you have THU Slate, you're going, well, I've got the other one, what do I need? The free one. One, control. You can mix this however you like. And 2, if you don't have impulses, these are free, and there's many, many more other than the AC30. Like I said, we're going to go through them at some later date. I just thought I'd showcase this one because I play AC30 style cabs for a lot of the stuff I do. We'll just do a quick one with the Fuzz just to compare as well. So let me just record that. Glitching there. So this is the Seacow Cabs. I know there's a bit of visual glitching, but so this is THU Slate. THU Slate. Seacow Cabs. Now let's just make something a little different. Right up. To Seacow, and we'll go back to the THU Slate hammer. So even with the Fuzz on, they're quite similar, but have enough difference that it's even worth having both. So now we've looked at that, let's look at some of the other speakers. So let's just pull up something very different. First off, I'm going to go to the cabinet, Raw IRs. Let's go to, I think what we'll do, we'll get the close mic to be a Shure SM7B. This is similar to 57, but a little bit fatter. I'm going to get it there. So first we'll get that sound. I'll just mute this one. And next, we'll just have a look at getting some of the rear mic. So you can mic a cab from the rear, and you get a little, you get a bit of the open back kind of sensibility. So let's just go. I reckon the 4038. 4038, yeah, we'll go with that one. We'll just listen to it. It's real dark. Let's go B1. Excited. Now, it's always good to check the phase with these because it's behind the speaker, it should more likely be 180 degrees out of phase or close to it. So there's a phase switch here, so we're just going to check the phase. Blend a bit in. Got this warmth. Go to the A1. We could try a different mic for the back. We could try a 57. And that back mic, that you've got something really cool there. Next, I just want to have a look at the stereo mic. So I really liked it there. You can add that warmth in. yeah, like I said, it's kind of gives you a bit more of that open back kind of sound. And you could always bust it out to multiple things and set up a whole multi-rack. And there's a few other IR things you pay for, which you can put in more different IR files. But the options are all there. So let's go to the room mics. I believe these are in stereo. And let's just listen to them by themselves. So, no, maybe they are stereo files. They aren't two files, so I'm just going to go for a 38 room. We'll just listen to it by itself. I'm just going to go. So that doesn't sound bad at all. That's just a room mic. And you blend it in with here and you've got a bit more of a natural sound. So let's say we just go back to the SM7B. Bit warmer, a bit more natural. Let's go in the middle. So that is a kind of cool sound. While we've got that sound with a bit of the room mic in there, I'm going to change this amp out. So let's try and use a different amp. Let's go JCM 800. You wouldn't usually put this with a VOX cab, but let's see what it sounds like. Want a little bit more gain on there. Let's add a BB2. Some of that room sound. Yeah, straight up sound. Back in a little bit. Okay, I want something a little bit more direct so we can go high gain, and we'll just go back to a 121, I think. It's not a 121, that's 57. Actually, we haven't tried. Let's try the Friedman technique. So I'm gonna get one Friedman. We're gonna go A4 over here. I'm just gonna get a straight up 57. A4. want that anymore. Don't want that. Let's go to amp. And let's try an SLO. Go here, I'm going to go high sensitivity, turn the gain up. The VOX cab you probably don't want for metal, but if we want some leads, let's just go for a bit of a lead sound. So I'm going to go here. We're going to go overdrive, a bit of a tube scream on the front, turn the drive down. Maybe a bit too much mids with the SLO, so let's just try, we'll go with a ecstasy. I don't have mids at all. Plenty of mids and ecstasy, but let's get it a little bit better. Otherwise, we're going to go loose. Treble. Play. Okay, now for the Freeman, let's go to a Coles or something. Let's try the R92. So that was the Seacow Cabs AC30 IR. A bit of a, it's real close one I went for, but you can really hear, you know, the kind of VOX AC30ness that it has in there. So yeah, if that is what you like, if that is, just try it anyway. Like, if you don't want it, well, it's free. So yeah, I'm going to get it up. If you don't have NAD IR, I'll put a link for that too. So you can get NAD IR, it's pretty cool. But yeah, try it out. It is pretty good for a free plugin, you know? Free plugin, free IR. I mean, I still probably use my Ownhammer stuff, mainly because I've got a few more speakers in that cab, and I can mix speakers, get a bit of a different sound, but I would happily use this in a mix too. Thanks again, don't forget to subscribe. Coming out with more of these, free IRs, testing some of my Ownhammer stuff. I haven't done any videos on that. So there's not really a lot of stuff on IRs. There's a lot of videos talking about them, but not a lot of comparison stuff, so I'm going to try and do some of that. And thanks again.